Education Minister wants action on police entering university premises. Nava Janata Peramuna goes to Election Commission on local government election. Satasa reduces prices of 7 grocery items.
To your news in detail now. The Federation of University Teachers Associations protested on Thursday morning against the Sri Lankan government's new tax policy. Now, the trade union action by FUTA disrupted academic activities across state universities.
The Professionals Trade Union Collective decided to launch a series of trade union measures to oppose the current conduct of the government, including the government's new tax policy. The Federation of University Teachers Association launched a nationwide strike on Thursday the 9th, and it will continue till the 15th of March. University teachers at all state universities that are governed by University Grants Commission are taking part in this trade union action. University teachers stepped away from all academic activities and administrative activities that resulted in the disruption of activities across universities. Academic activities at most of the faculties at the Colombo University were hampered on Thursday the 9th as a result of the trade union action. Academic activities did not take place at the Open University in Navala. Most students were seen heading back to their homes and dorms due to the FUTA trade union action. Academic activities of the Vayama University did not take place as well.
On to other news now. The Professionals Trade Union Collective convened a media briefing on Thursday morning to comment on the trade union action.
ඉතාම තීරණාත්මක අවස්ථාවක් ඇවිල්ලා තියෙනවා තීරණයක් ගන්න. තවදුරටත් බලන්න බෑ, තවදුරටත් කල්ලා බෑ.
We have reached a point to make a decision. We cannot be patient anymore. If a solution is not given by the 15th of March, the country will be out of electricity, water and so on, even leading to the closure of the universities. We need to have a country, but for that the people need to survive. Therefore, we urge the government to discuss with us on adopting a more reasonable tax system. Today, we turned off the first switch. As days go by, more switches will be turned off, and on the 15th of March, the main switch will be turned off. Thereafter, do not say that the government was not aware and the people have been inconvenienced. Do not blame the doctors, bank employees and even the dock workers. The government should be held responsible for the situation that is to come.
මේ වනුවට බැංකු ශාස්ත්‍රය නියෝජනය කරමින් ලංකා බැංකු සේවක සංගමයේ බැංකු 18ක් නියෝජනය කරනවා.
The Ceylon Bank Employees Union represents 18 banks in the country. Employees at the private banks are also invited. They form the banking system, and we have decided that from the 13th of March we will take strict action leading to a strike. When unjust taxes are imposed on professionals, it affects the layers below them as well. It would lead to a collapse in the economy.
වලට මේක බලපානවා. ඒ වගේම රටේ ආර්ථික අවපාතයක් දක්වා මේක ගමන් කරන්න පුළුවන්.
ලබන සතිය තුළ රටේ සියලුම ක්ෂේත්‍ර
All sectors in the country will likely shut down by next week. It is still not too late for the government to invite us for talks. We urge to look at this issue in a reasonable manner.
මේ ප්‍රශ්නේ දිහා බලන්න
තවමත් රජය ජනතාව මුලා කිරීමට උත්සාහ කර ගන්නවා මේ ජාත්‍යන්තර මූල්‍ය අරමුදල.
The government is still trying to deceive the people by saying they cannot make amendments to the IMF agreement and that all problems will be solved after that. We have obtained loans from the IMF 16 times before this incident. If there is a positive outcome from those loans, this country wouldn't be in this position. This is only one solution. Apart from that, we have presented a series of solutions, but the government has not responded to our request.
Meanwhile, students from the Peradeniya University protested at the Galaha Junction today. Students from the Peradeniya University protested against student oppression and attacks by authorities on student protests. 6 university students who were arrested during Wednesday night's protest at the Kalani University will be produced to the Mahara Magistrates Court today. Sri Lanka police fired tear gas and water cannons to disperse a group of university students at the Kalani University premises. This protest commenced at around 9 p.m. on Wednesday. This protest was organised against the arrest of student leader Kalumudan Nayaka and student activist Dilshan Harshana, and the students demanded their immediate release. Though tear gas and water cannons were used multiple times to disperse the protesting students, they continued to engage in the protest until midnight. One lane along the Kandy Colombo main road was completely blocked due to the protest, disrupting the movement of traffic.
When a protest is being staged, Ranil Wickremesinghe trembles. Why is that? That is because Ranil, who does not have a mandate, became the president through loopholes in the constitution. Ranil is president for the SLPP. This president of the SLPP is trying to suppress our brothers and sisters and protests. By summoning the police, he is plotting to protect his tenure. We will continue the struggle against suppression. Release Kalumudan Nayaka, Dilshan Harshana and the brothers of the Sabargamu University immediately.
The lawyers of the struggle movement convened a press briefing in Colombo today. Now, views regarding peaceful protests and suppression of university students were expressed during the media briefing.
දැන් මේ රනිල් වික්‍රමසිංහ කියනවා මේ එයා කරන සංවර්ධනයට ඒක බාධා කරන්න එන ඕන කෙනෙක්ට එයා දැඩි තීරණ
Ranil Wickremesinghe has said he will take decisive action on anyone who is disrupting the development process of the country he is carrying out. Did he make a simple decision up until now? Under his authority, poisonous tear gas has been fired at pedestrians and the situation has come to a point where people have come close to death. He sent people who come to the streets and express their views to the hospitals after beating them. Police officers are deployed at a location where 10 to 15 people gather. He is trying to continue his rule through thuggery.
එයා උත්සාහ කරනවා එයාගේ මැරකම් ජඩකම් තුලින් මේ පාලනය ඉදිරියට ගෙනියන්න.
සිය හමුදාවේ ඉන්න සහෝදර සහෝදරයන්ට කියනවා අනුන්ගේ ටින්කිරි කන්න ලෑස්ති වෙන්න එපා.
We want to tell the brothers and sisters in the military, don't be at fault for someone else's faults. When you wear a uniform, you bear a responsibility. You must fulfill your duties. We agree with that. But your duty is not to beat people up. There are no terrorists or revolutionaries here. There are no extremists. Only university students who are fighting for the rights of the people are there on the streets. Professionals and citizens who have political opinions aren't the security forces ashamed of attacking those people.
පහර දෙන්න ඔබ ආරක්ෂකංශවල ලැජ්ජ නැද්ද?
පාරේ අරගල කරනවා දිනෙන් දින අරගල කරනවා අපි දන්නවා ඊයේ පෙරේද හැමදාම අරගල කරනවා. ඒතර ඇයි මේ අරගල කරන්න කියලා කවදාවත් මේ රටේ පාලකයෝ
Struggles are taking place on the streets. These struggles are taking place every day. The rulers of this country are not thinking about the reason for these struggles. They are not thinking about why protests are taking place. There is a large disparity between the citizens and the rulers of the country. The political authority in Sri Lanka does not understand the rights and feelings of the people. Addressing this disparity is a problem. These rulers want to rule the country through suppression. Rulers have no intentions nor knowledge to understand why this struggle is happening. They only want to suppress these members of the struggle and play with their lives.
කඳුළු ගෑස් ගහලා එතනින් එහාට අරගල කරුවන්ගේ ජීවිතත් එක්කයි මේ පාලන තන්ත්‍රය සෙල්ලම් කරන්නේ.
On to a headline-making story now. Education Minister Susil Premajayantha said that the police and relevant ministries have been informed that a decision should be taken on the fact that Sri Lanka police entered university premises recently. He was responding to questions raised by MP Buddhika Patirana in Parliament over issues surrounding universities.
පෙරේදා
An incident took place at the Colombo University on Wednesday, and it is said that police stormed into the university premises, dragged students out, and one non-academic security officer had also reportedly died. There is concern that it was caused due to the firing of tear gas. University students were seen all around Thurston College and the surrounding area. This college is the alma mater of the President, Speaker and some MPs here. University students with special needs, non-academic staff were also attacked. Following the situation that arose over the tax system, university teachers are to step away from marking A-level papers and will step away from lectures. Medical faculty lecturers and the non-academic staff are supporting this.
The Federation of University Teachers Association held 2 rounds of discussions with me. The first matter must be solved in a national level. For the remaining 3 problems, we have informed the Federation of University Teachers Association on the solutions. Grading of advanced level papers on many subjects could not be done properly. We are finding a solution to that issue. After discussions with the Teachers Union yesterday, we came to a solution with regard to the issue.
Yesterday, security forces have attacked students of the Calendar University by going up the road leading to the university. They were cornered from either side. If there is a death reported in a university, it will be a nationwide tragedy.
More than the internal issues at the university, these problems are emerging due to main problems in the country. We are ready to engage in discussions with the students' unions. I request the Ministry of Internal Affairs and the police to take measures regarding police officers entering university premises. Meanwhile, the members of the Nava Janata Peramuna delivered a letter to the Election Commission with regard to the issues surrounding the local government election. Considering the sequence of events that took place, the people have lost faith in the Election Commission. If the election was to be held at the appropriate date, the date is today. But it was not held today. The National Election Commission has allocated a date in April with regards to holding the election. But we are suspicious about this because there seems to be 2 groups in the Commission who are making decisions separately. Reverend Father Cyril Gamini Fernando, the spokesperson of the Archdiocese of Colombo, commented on the local government election at a media briefing at the Bishop's House, Colombo.
මැතිවරණයක් කියලා කියන්නේ ජනතාවගේ මූලික අයිතිවාසිකම. ඒ කියන්නේ ජනතාවට තමන්ගේ මතය ප්‍රකාශ කිරීමට, තමන්ගේ ස්ථාවරය ප්‍රකාශ කිරීමට තියෙන.
An election is a fundamental right of people. It is the key opportunity for people to express their stance and opinion. Therefore, holding an election is a must. It is important for people to express their political stance from time to time. If an election is not being held, the state will continue its functions as it is. People should be given the opportunity to exercise their fundamental right to vote. Therefore, elections should be held without a delay, and there shouldn't be any obstacles to prevent an election from being held. We also request the government to provide people an opportunity to exercise their fundamental right to vote.
තියෙන්නට ඕන කියලා. ඒ වගේම රජේනුත් අපි ඉල්ලා සිටින්නේ ජනතාවගේ මූලික අයිතිවාසිකම් කඩ කරන්නේ නැතුව ඒ අයිතිය ජනතාවට ලබා දෙන්නට කියන එක. ඒකට
A Women's Day event was held at the New Lanka Freedom Party premises yesterday with former Sri Lankan President Chandrika Bandaranaike Kumaratunga in attendance.
කාන්තාව පාර්ලිමේන්තුවට ගිය පළියට ඇමතිකම් ලැබුණ පළියට අපේ රටේ.
Have women's social, economic, political and cultural status improved just because one enters parliament and is given a ministerial position? I personally don't think so. Incidents of harassment and violence against women, including sexual harassment, has drastically increased over the past 2 decades. The situation became worse following the COVID-19 pandemic. Apart from sexual harassment, domestic violence is another issue faced by women. The man in the house assaults and ultimately kills the woman in front of his children. Sri Lanka is among the countries with the highest rates of domestic violence. But we boast heavily about the International Women's Day, We speak on TV and go home. Successive governments haven't taken any remedial action to curb domestic violence since we gained independence to this day. There's no mechanism to address these issues. But there is a Women's Affairs Ministry and a Social Service Ministry established for name's sake. A majority of employees are females at these ministries, but there's no work being done.
Lanka Satusa has reduced the prices of 7 grocery items with effect from Thursday. 1 kilogram of dried chili has been reduced by 75 rupees to 1,500 rupees. 1 kilogram of dal will now be sold for 339 rupees, a reduction of 19 rupees. 1 kilogram of wheat flour was reduced by 15 rupees to 230 rupees. 1 kilogram of white sugar was reduced by 11 rupees to 218 rupees. 1 kilogram of local red kakul rice will be sold for 155 rupees, a reduction of 9 rupees. 1 kilogram of local white nard rice will be sold for 188 rupees, a reduction of 7 rupees. 1 kilogram of big onions will now be sold at 129 rupees, a drop of 6 rupees from the previous price. The prevailing economic crisis has affected the lives of many. The story reported from Dorapodakanda, Bibila, is just one example of the hardships faced by people of rural Sri Lanka. A family of 4, including the mother and 3 children, reside at this house. While one child is in preschool, the other 2 children are students at the Mudigala school in Bibila. The father of these children abandoned the family some time back. As a result of the economic hardships they face, this family is struggling to have a proper meal.
ඇත්තම කියනවා නම් දියාලයි බතු කෑවේ පෙර පාසල් ගාස්තු පවා අමාරු වෙන්නේ කොහොම අමාරුවෙන් තමයි ජීවත් වෙලා ළමයි තුන්දෙනාත් එක්ක බත් තියෙන්නේ මෙච්චරයි ළමයිට දෙන්න දවල්ට උයන්නෙත් නැහැ මෙච්චරයි බත් තියෙන්නේ.
Newsfirst has constantly raised awareness over the dangers in swimming in unsafe environments, prioritizing the value of human life. A school student died on Wednesday while bathing in Palmadulla.
Hashan Muru Vijayaratna from Ihala Bopitiya Palmadulla was a student of Dharmaloka Vidyalaya Palmadulla. Even though this child had gone to bathe with his family on Wednesday, they were unable to rescue him. Mathur is another location frequented by both locals and foreigners for bathing, swimming and other water-based activities. But some areas in the coast are unsafe. While 2 individuals had drowned in this area in January this year, 3 others too have faced a similar plight. As such, area residents urge visitors to be mindful about their safety while having fun.
Meanwhile, wastewater disposal to a water canal has posed a serious health risk to the people living in Kitulhena Galpatha, located in Yatiantota.
The people of Kitulhena in Galpatha in Yatiantota fulfill their requirement for water from the Kitulhena Horahala water canal. 100 families residing in the area obtain water from this canal for drinking and cleaning purposes. However, since of late, wastewater from a rubber factory has been released into this canal. As a result, the only source of clean water these people had has been contaminated.
People use this water to drink. During the dry season, we use this stream to bathe ourselves. There is no other alternative for us. Ammonia water is being released into this. This has been happening for 6 to 7 years, but no action was taken.
Area residents also lament that owing to this issue, marine life in the canal has been affected as well.
News First with the people.
In a shocking revelation, Fitch Solutions revealed that Sri Lanka's rupee will reverse gains and plummet.
Fitch Solutions said that Sri Lanka's rupee, which became the world's best performing currency this year amid hopes of an international monetary fund bailout, may resume declines and lose a fifth of its value against the dollar by end 2023. Fitch maintained its forecast for the rupee to weaken to a record low of 390 per dollar by year end. The rupee advanced 3% to 317.7 per dollar on Wednesday, taking its annual gains to over 15%. That's after the IMF said it plans to decide on a $2.9 billion bailout for Sri Lanka following China's assurance that it will support the nation's debt restructuring. Sri Lanka has increased taxes, cut energy subsidies and loosened its grip on the currency to secure the IMF loan. The central bank recently lifted borrowing costs further to ensure that inflation, which has slowed from nearly 70%, doesn't flare up. According to Fitch, the Sri Lankan rupee may also be pressured by tightening global monetary conditions.
On to news overseas now in the Australian continent. Australia is expected to buy as many as 5 US Virginia-class nuclear-powered submarines in the 2030s as part of a landmark Pacific Security Pact with the United States and the United Kingdom.
According to foreign media, under the so-called AUKUS agreement, at least one US submarine will visit Australian ports in the coming years, and by the late 2030s, a new class of submarines will be built with UK designs and US technology. Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese is due to meet US President Joe Biden and UK Prime Minister Rishi Sunak in San Diego on Monday to reveal AUKUS's next steps. The Pacific Security Pact, first announced in September 2021, is seen as an attempt to counter China's growing might and assertive positioning in the region, and has drawn condemnation from Beijing. Two of the officials speaking on the condition of anonymity said that after the annual port visits, the US would deploy some submarines in Western Australia by about 2027. In the early 2030s, Australia would buy 3 Virginia-class submarines and have the option to buy 2 more. Australia has an existing fleet of 6 conventionally powered Collins-class submarines, which will have their service life extended to 2036. Nuclear submarines can stay underwater for longer than conventional ones and are harder to detect.
And now in the sports front, Sri Lanka ended day 1 of the first test against New Zealand at 305 for 6 after bad light forced an early stumps.
New Zealand won the toss and chose to bowl in the first test against Sri Lanka at the Hagley Oval. Sri Lanka are currently sitting in 3rd place in the World Test Championship and could reach the final with a clean sweep of this 2-match series, depending on the result of the concurrent test between Australia and India. Tim Southee struck early in the day to dismiss Oshada Fernando for 13. However, skipper Dimuth Karunaratne and Kusal Mendis teamed up in the middle to push the visitors past 150. Unfortunately, the pair were dismissed in back-to-back overs, with Kusal Mendis falling for 87 and Karunaratne falling for 50 in the 33rd and 34th overs. Karunaratne entered the record books, becoming Sri Lanka's highest test run scoring opener. Angelo Matthews and Dinesh Chandimal did the rebuilding job as they stitched an 82-run stand for the 4th wicket. Chandimal made a quick 39 before he too was sent back to the dressing room off a Tim Southee delivery. Matthews completed 7,000 runs in his test career and became only the 3rd Sri Lankan player to reach this figure. He was unfortunately, however, dismissed for 47. Sri Lanka ended day 1 of the first test against New Zealand at 305 for 6 after bad light forced an early stumps.
That's all the news for now. For news in brief, await the brief at 30 throughout the evening. Bringing you the news from the news desk, I am Sandro Satyajit signing off. Have a peaceful day.